This weekend, I am racing my first ever Gravel World Series race up here in the beautiful Galloway Forest in Scotland. It's time for the Gralloch.
Bit of a spicy start. Puncture!
Right, we're up nice and early, just getting the breakfast on the go, and then we're going to get signed on and ready to go. Just heading down to sign on now. Lovely morning. I have to say they have got a good setup for it. It's pretty cool having that start banner, and this whole event village is huge. Got my number, let's go pin it on and get ready to race. Since the Dirty Reaver 3 weeks ago, I've made a few little optimizations and tweaks to my kit for this race. So first up, I had an absolute nightmare with my water bottles. I lost one only about 20k in and ended up really dehydrated for the race. So this time I'm running a proper hydration pack with 2 litres in it. That should make it quite a lot easier and less of a faff to drink while on the go. I found actually getting a bottle out of my cage while on really rough gravel quite difficult. So having that in the hydration pack with just a hose will make my life a lot easier. In the pack, I've got 2 litres of water mixed with 300 grams of sugar. So that should keep me going for the 3.5 to 4 hours that I expect this will take. So we shouldn't be too bad. I'm also going to carry a few extra gels, especially one caffeine gel, just for the end if I need to get that final little kick in my system. I've also been able to slim down a little bit on some of the mandatory safety kit you had to have for the Dirty Reaver, so I don't need to bring a survival bag or a spare base layer. So my pack will be a little bit more compact, except for the added weight of the water in there. The next change I've made is to my gearing. So this time I am running a 48 tooth chainring up from the 44 I was running at the Dirty Reaver. I found I was spinning out a bit too much on like the false flat descents where you did need to keep the power down. So yeah, 48 tooth with a 10 on the back, I definitely shouldn't be spinning that out. And having the 50 on the back means I still should have a decently low climbing gear. And the final change is quite a big one that I'm quite excited for. I've bought myself a proper no-pin skin suit in my club colours. Now this fits me really well. I've ridden it in one hill climb so far and it was great and it really did feel like I was doing it properly. Now, if it ends up that I end up on my own and having to like get as aero as I can, it should actually provide quite a benefit, as well as just keeping it all nice and clean and tight without having like my jersey flapping around that doesn't fit me very well. Also, having the number pocket's quite nice, not having to put pins through your gear. Yeah, just a little bonus. After loads of and ahhing, I've decided I'm going to go for 35 PSI in the tyres. I'm just going to use my little Side Plus electric pump to get them onto the right pressure. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I had to line up really early. No time for a warm-up, unfortunately. But yeah, waiting about 15 minutes now for the start.
2 minutes to the start for the men's juniors and 19 to 34 category. For Nels Drop Racing.
Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Away you go. Enjoy the race.
And we were off, but straight away on the first gravel section out from the line, there were already riders at the side of the road having issues, a sign of things to come. I started really deep in the field, so I had a lot of work to do, battling for positions, going out through town on the first road section. It was at this point my teammate Joe came past me, and I know he's really good at picking his way through the bunch. So I jumped on his wheel, and my goal up the first climb was just to follow his route through the bunch and hopefully make up a ton of positions. As we swung on to the first gravel section and the start of the first major climb, we'd already made up a decent amount of positions, and we kept picking our way through the bunch, slowly gaining places rider by rider. Up the first climb, I had to average 350 watts for the 11 minutes and 18 seconds it took me. At my weight, that's 5.5 watts per kilo. An absolutely brutal start. And this is where you can see the punctures beginning, with the rider unfortunately already stopped by the side of the road having to mend one.
Ooh. Bit of a spicy start.
By the time we crested the climb, we must have made up hundreds of positions, and we're now sitting in around 50th place. Going down the first descent is where it started to get real dusty. Being in a huge group of riders in such dry conditions was kicking up a massive dust storm. Now I know how the pros must feel when they're racing Strada, and this was also the point in time where I realised I'd actually managed to forget to put my glasses on before starting. So visibility was really poor, with loads of dust in my eyes. Just praying a stone or something didn't fly up and hit me. The pace was absolutely relentless, but we were still gaining positions, moving away through the group, making up really good ground. For the first 50 minutes of the race, I had averaged 288 watts with a normalised power of 320 watts, which is a crazy hard start considering how long the race was going to go on for. The gravel descents are absolutely epic, especially when you start nailing the corners and keeping your speed really high through them. Unfortunately, it wasn't long until disaster struck. And my teammate Joe, who had managed to get a bit of time up the road on me, had his first puncture of the day. And as you can see, he's fixing it just by the side of the track as I pass him. Just after this, I stupidly managed to drop my chain, so had to stop and put it back on, leading into an almighty chase to get back onto my group before the road section. I managed to just about make it at the start of the road and was rewarded with a 5-kilometre tow along the road section where I could really try and recover a bit. But it wasn't long before everything started going wrong for me as well. As soon as we turned off the road and back onto the gravel, I noticed that dreadful feeling of your rim bouncing on the surface below with no pressure in it.
Puncture!
So unfortunately I had to stop and fix my puncture. Even though I was stopped by the side of the road fixing it for around 12 minutes, I didn't let it kill my race. During this portion of time, my teammate Joe passed me, and my goal was to pick my way back through the field and catch back up with him, no matter how long it would take. So that's what I began to do, slowly picking my way through the depths of the age group field, making up position after position after position. At the next checkpoint after fixing my puncture, I was now in around 200th place in my age group, miles behind the 60th place I was in at the checkpoint before. So I had a load of work to do. But checkpoint by checkpoint, I was slowly improving my position, slowly getting back towards the front of the race. After putting in a huge shift, catching people, putting the power down on every single climb, I've managed to climb all the way back up into the top 100. Until it did all unfortunately go wrong again in two ways. Firstly, unfortunately, my GoPro did run out of battery at this point. And secondly, just as I caught Joe again, I noticed my tyre had gone flat again. Which, considering the state of the sidewalls, was impressive it stayed up for that long. So I had to stop and put another tube in. And from this point onwards, I had to ride very cautiously as I depleted all my spares. The final 10k or so was on the road. with a short, sharp road climb where by chance I caught GCN's Dan Lloyd, and me, along with him and a few others, rolled turns up until the finish line. Fortunately, in the group I arrived at the finish line in, I was the only rider in my age group, so I let them sprint for the positions and just rolled across the line, soaking in the atmosphere of all the fans cheering us on.
Is in the way that will be getting out of the way. Fionn Gilbert, Tessa Nissian and Sophie Wright. And here comes the Dutch rider, Tessa Nissian takes the win from Fionn Gilbert.
Oh, well, that was a tough day out. 2 punctures and 2 drop chains, but I managed to get around. I think it was like 107. So yeah, that's not too bad out of a field of 350 with all them incidents. Looking at what my Garmin said, I think I spent about 20 minutes by the side of the road. So, you know, I'd have been way up there, I think, if I didn't have the issues. But it's part of it, really. But it is an awesome event. There's so many people about. Would strongly recommend it. All showered up now. Just sort of reflecting on the day, really. I mean, the legs felt amazing, but yeah, it just wasn't meant to be with them punctures. Hopefully be able to come back in the future and show myself off properly. But yeah, I think it's a real game of getting your equipment right here, because I don't know what it is with the gravel. There's so many people puncturing, just like a constant stream of bikes down the side of the road, stop mending punctures. So yeah, it's brutal. Must be just like the really sharp kind of slaty rock that it was. Just sliced. I mean, I'll show you in a second how badly sliced my sidewall is. It's like, I can't believe actually it was okay with a tube in it, to be honest with you. It's completely slashed. So I thought that was the puncture, and you can see the plug I've put in. But then when I went to CO2, I discovered this massive gash in the sidewall, which obviously wouldn't seal. So I had to chuck a tube in. Unfortunately, the first tube only lasted about another 40k before it went again, and I had to put a second tube in. But fortunately that time it lasted to the finish. Other than that though, the rest of the bike held up pretty well. Even these really cheap Chinese disc rotors absolutely didn't miss a beat. But it is extremely dusty now, so it's going to be a big job getting it clean when I get back home. Taking a look at the results then, in my age group, I finished in 108th place, which, considering the level of issues I had, was quite a respectable ride. And my final finish time was 4 hours and 3 minutes. But looking on Strava, you can see my moving time was only 3 hours and 43 minutes, which means I did spend 20 minutes stopped mending punctures or putting my chain back on. So if in future I can sort out my equipment and have a bit of stroke of luck, then hopefully I'll be able to get a really, really solid result. I think only around 30 or so riders got a time that good. If I can sort out these issues and get a bit of luck on my side, I should be able to put out a really strong performance. In terms of other stats, well, my normalised power was 284 watts for 4 hours with an average power at 250 watts. And this is where it gets crazy, an average heart rate of 178, which for me is absolutely unheard of for 4 hours. And no wonder I felt absolutely exhausted afterwards. I've really got the bug for this gravel racing now, even though it didn't go fully to plan. My goal for the next few months, figure out exactly the right tyre setup, try and get it properly dialed in to minimise that risk of punctures in future. Maybe even going full Dylan Johnson and trying the 2.2 Conti Race Kings if I can get them to fit in my frame. And I'll be returning to racing gravel at Dolby Grit at the end of June. So hopefully I'll be able to get a really good result on the board there. Because as I said, my legs did feel amazing during that race. And I really do think this gravel racing does suit my style. Please, if you're in the 95% of you that aren't already subscribed, do make sure to get yourself subscribed down below and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. The algorithm really does appreciate it. Now, I've got a long evening cleaning my bike and washing my kit, but I will see you all in the next one.